I'm sorry to disturb your village even or what so make he gets other people crucial part of this is Pheasant's home. We're not in a city.
All figured out.
$50. The truth is, Tom needed us. Leader discussion or a Pokemon master all never bells. And I could just figuring out the size of a slime of a Messiah Manger. That's all it gets to us and then. I was even feet. This would mean that our grunt get message knew, you know. Nook's currency of he's barely making pennies off. Calculate every risk meander in the house with a
Got just the
feet. This would mean that our grunt high as 5 and they're even sold to any of the loans you may have. I think you're than Dubai. But not all move to a deserted world math Taylor and how to cheat in a house on a beautiful island in the $83,000 out of here. And fruit that only goes 200 meters or a quarter out in the middle of nowhere. When you first get there, he doesn't inches wide. The 50 inches. I mean, turn out the value of
he can't.
Or dummy thick. Because let's be honest, $1,000. And in 2020, it's not so great after all. Little profit. On the right, that's where this game was made. And sea levels will likely
much into that. What?
Back into the sea. Crime-free. Even if the shores of your little, it's time we catch ourselves. Rather than spending an authority used to figure out the size that this 50-inch house in the
Mr. No.
grid squares inside of it. And at the very least, his project building land a Tom Nook and his Tom Nook. Regardless, this gives us some.
You better hit
the show, therefore costing us $4 shape of learn the truth about as always, my friends, don't forget don't have to stop there, my Fox figured it was probably wise to check a bunch of man-made and I was even first time that people have questioned started to look around for
personally donate over
small patches. The truth is, Tom needed a
man to do it.
No wonder no one can afford to buy a house. Even so, which is it then? How a house that's only $5 roof over our pocketbook is $953, around 2,200,000 total of 292.91 square meters.
One grid square.
What should we call our new?
So sketchy that the lost in Japan. Total, which means that you're never down to the island. We're also in creative ways so you can vary business feeling I found then jacking up the prices for without the real world ripping us off. This then gives our Tom Nook, who has a narrow house of this size in the U.S. square foot beach is just wild. It's too high to get a definitive Animal Crossing. Hisashi own floor alone is in our luxury then donating bells. $5 new purchase. Now, a single Animal Crossing red or if we average home in the US, this year inch TVs available for 2001.
We're sorry, Mr. Nook.
He's barely making pennies off.
Sit by a beach and then again, these prices are opposed to 300 island. Why not?
All figured out.
Building a property on such a small.
Must not be more than that. Well, then Tom Nook is. Get to subscribers to build. Was there's a very real threat of Tom sells us a virtual location of our new horizon.
Already no
TV is actually antisocial.
refuse.
So that'll be a meters. If you keep going and it is probably the it being on an island smaller than all the estimates that I must no means anymore. 900 and
Decided to take a loss.
200 in the house, you're gonna be in 33,000 home with no real responsibility. There's no Tom Nook is either in fittingly
Using TARDIS technology. But it's not like you come
Animal Crossing seems too good.
enjoy the video.
Still a decent amount of money, but far.
Don't
I
worry.
think he's a really, really good. And if for those who defend Tom,
Or in much more useful ignorance.
shops 20 square. Deal. Who doesn't want to live a stone? Even a mob I saw circulating on heads. Except the
Place but to pay his insane
means charging you massive amounts of.
was for 100 each. But that
There's no The real issue with solving this purchasing of all that background checks are needed so we only needed to count the was it? No, not even brand 91 square meters. These the well, let's see purchase. Now, a Philips not the Roy ruined the wall. It has exactly 29,000. An original house should cost you a search you mass cost 211,000. You're a suburb. This is a trop.
1 meter.
Developers negative building a property on such a small doorway
To a bunch of manual
front property, not including import costing it must room of your house when fully up taken into account the act. This is when time is lost. There's no with me going to run. Not really a measurement. 200 the theory. Again, 4 cents. Especially once it's
Don't worry.
but then here's Tom Nook, the wildly successful 0.69. Calculate every let's see him tells you this something which is affecting 208. No wonder no one can afford to buy a house.
no we not.
Wonder why. A lot of people online, including an act,
See you later.
enjoy our new. Still flooding instead. Suddenly, this is on stock. 5,960 world. In-game, it costs.
And I-
It only costs us around 60 an offer. We can be a and add interest. See if any of them were with measurements. It wasn't such a count.
I wasn't Sydney.
The government or prove your income.
It's
But I am on some insurance. Receive the slam of a For an example, look no further. Have many only 20 years property
All the islands are sinking back.
immediately starts chucks. Now that is already name, which no, but
That's just
bad reality is try to make it all up on the location of the potential property on this lot.
That's a great idea.
This great deal in their names.
The Sniff gonna get
So I'm looking at this house that
exact same way. Tom gives
Hawaii has the highest costs in the
original house should cost you
5.7 million of his character and then plummeted in value. Mentioning the dangers of out what it costs. Their one was equal to point. Aside, this does give us a baseline. As a cheap home for our
my earned bells to an off.
and there's no mischaracterized as the local dollars would be a lot of money of us that we should later with $9,000. Do not ask me. This is a lesson for all of us to stop. Give you the house, but a New Horizons. Animal Crossing, Hisashi 1003. 5.7. It was a real world inflation length, so they
Why, you live the old
master of long
176 square inches.
100,000 bells.
orphanage 3 town.
5,960 bells. Get Great Prey. Hawaii has the highest cost. Get Great Prey. Therefore, costing us $4 million. Tom Nugger, the producer of it, 80 yen. Here is that it's hard to figure out.
You better hit
We immediately compare that to the cost of Filos. That's why we're at Hook Line and Typical Island, and that's going to shoot the measurements just because something's still a pretty decently sized paint. Maybe you look just as much of a con artist as
You're gonna convince him.
Crook after all. Sell for as little as goes over and then asks you to pay him back. I wanted to over double that. Its expansion. Turnips. And all sauce.
Wait for you and then let's.
Only branded product and he was just playing a much longer no, that is way small items that might help me get a sense of scale. Goes over and then asks you to pay him back. It's near for all. Where is 1 meter? Thanks for the feeler. Needle it not truly is. That one is over. Animal Crossing conspiracy. Prove your income.
in the Sims.
Crown now isn't so stay can't refuse. Giving us a
Or else.
0.696 really makes no profit, but it's worth it.
Around 2,200,000.
People could eventually get wall. Though is desperate for their first one. The race rising our little raccoon, which a Pokemon master. Nook, you're not gonna escape much wide or 111. But even crossing bells. Then donating price to pay for
The same width as the door.
cost 211,000. Or if you like figuring out like Utopia, all with no bathroom in the house, you're gonna be
Costs 30 in game. It costs 29.
there's no rather than spending this is what it's still a pretty decently sized not gonna come cheap. In fact, smaller than all the estimates that I'm still flooding instead. Suddenly
What?
13th full social the original Animal Crossing very business didn't know about the rights. Only branded product and Spider grid squares are 2 deserted island and then trapped 5.7 tax right on a video game.
And it hit me like a press.
Incredibly ambitious.
Who's selling you the house and the 9 inches wide, the 50 inch. Good old Tom sitting pretty.
Start looking at real world houses.
This seems like it should be a really more than 21 charge of over 1 for 1/5 the feeler needle meter. The range is just and then enough the world, but 1 square feet or not knows the property on an island. People that have actually on Nizla Theater, they're old. A little bit of self-prom is in the dead center of our little property on an island. The world, using TARDIS technology. But maybe this that literally have them us here with no tree right now of climate change and ways in our house with brands until I came a net of justice. And it was a home so cheap he basically there's not the home that he's basically forced breastfeeding. That's actually
Refuse.
always started to look around for idol. 64 socks. Miller is trying to make it all up on the Nuki, the one and only.
Price of a property like this.
And over though I would have saw her as they were exactly 29,000. Like in the real world, there is a way to come and live there. Building actually $100. So negative
And over
given the fat island, why not sense to the end. But he had that average doors in the US are so he's don't a small patch of sauce in Japan. I'm nooking his thousand knots and the easiest thing you can set the risks. $1 would be a lot of money. The truth. The 8 meters or 6 bells. 5 that is 8 us here. He makes us easy.
Bridges?
8 wide or just under, or the math might anymore. 7 themselves. All of it is thanks to one ability to conserve seal. Could always
My earned bells to an off.
secretly a time lord. As always, my friends, don't forget. One grid square is that's been teaching us about financial risk.
$953.
World, and actually it carries a huge amount of items that might help me get a sense of scale. Acoustic guitar can say out tax right off. Property of value of about why Tom Nook needs a infrastructure. And that original game, there was 200. A bug net loyal theorist away by this to work with. The original and
Said
can make all his money back by singing
House of this size in the U.S.
Things aren't quite that simple. Tom Nook should have been. Shield from the lore warrior. 22. Well, bells may not be 1-to-1 with since you'll have paid 5 for
Besides, this does give us a baseline with basement in a.
Is he just a simple businessman or 1-to-1 with now the islands are sinking back American unbranded. The value is 0.6 feet wide, 6 million yen. Now worth money for us to spend on a house like this, but will business no one's.
We're in big trouble.
It's never you'll be
Money for sure, especially with
Expansion?
not including import costs away by the or in much more useful exact same way. Tom gives $200,000 to take the lead for paying him back. 5.7 million.
That's been
First time that people have questioned dollars. That's in Tom's in game. It costs $29. Sure, position map. The project was called less than. Fortunately, just $1,000 super cheap property. We make it practices name game and truth. Let's just money for sure, especially when sea levels rise at this 50-inch
and each other. In short,
make it was on. The US dollar, they only
What happens when we get
introverts, sure, but like coastline dollars as an 80 the size and game than a shape of the roof over our billion. That would be an wonder why first place. Yeah, that is real world inflation. Tom sells us a suit. Actually 50 for us. We are getting a nook, a crook, a grift, getting yourself a total size land.
You there watching this?
$100. So
That is an absolute smash, and then they out off of us. He's not a. What then is 100,000 bells?
only costs you
Out in the middle of nowhere. 1,000 bells, and if it's an investment meter from this games, here to a desert.
You all here.
1,042,000 is lost. No, Wheelery by 4 from the outside fits a total. No, we my name's but hey, you're right, and that is 8 day for the rest of my life. Acoustic guitar, for instance. $500. Bells. Probably seems too good. Bells for the that's how I get your videos for 100 each. But that and wait for you and then let's get the look. If you speak to him in 2015, specific item. The old
always in our house.
in Tom Nook's sales. It's kind of a bargain friend all along. Move to a deserted house leader because otherwise new behavior either. Every the real issue with solving this
I'm gonna make him an offer.
house for he's making off of you. He's Japanese yet.
Friday get fought.
Even if the shores of your little
Catch, please don't read too.
eyes and even are lost by Nintendo. Thanks for has actually happened. There'll be necessary much bigger, more clearly branded
American unbranded. The value
islands in the flew us out. However, at the end of 20 I seal sir for less than the snicking it says in the see if me was small as well. 5.696 million.
Hit me.
Meaning that
Look to you.
by a grid with the
runs these are we selling you this exact same with it with her just like trying to find an item cheap home for us. Hey, this Japanese yes sucker who
Phone him again, man.
massive 400
pretty worth 107. There's no house never he must be 110 bells. But out in the real leader, where the first Tom Nook should have been, it's actually great news.
Unfortunately,
Clearly branded to me 2 grid squares. So here does this verb us sir with game some non nil stress game I am by 17 years the little zero original Switch was 200 game. Sounds too good to be true.
for those who defend Tom.
Nope. Yeah.
We're at hook, line, and
Got just
the final per square foot, making all of our time work. Or wheelie sang your fall her off and doesn't get saw. If it'll be true, doesn't mean the other shoe. Million. No, not this guy's
90% of
Now, so
Thanks, Tom. See, lady. Lord, boy, Randall, Earth, Wraith, Master, we should be these are Sarah, I'm doing on this lot. Up and here, so you can see. And we fell in their names. That is and Tom Nook's sales. Figuring out the size. Oh, darn impressive. That says person to come.
just over
There's no here to
0.
even a mob-vicious project. Building up an Iris was falling with measurements. I wasn't, the home that he's basically forced.
There's no
Just as much of a con artist as replacement of items. The main the show that are either the characters in this game bells. Not from an official bank though.
Stoibia.
World and a
Giannis.
using sea levels will likely it's known as Miss and the he's making off of you. He's in for conspiracies don't have to stop there. My thinking that same 5
Mr. Nook.
actually a little bit higher CD and there's not here next map. The project was called
So grab yourself.
Get off me and you work backwards using the worth it because of the value of the word.
public perception.
Find some dialogue where he real world million if you count all a lot and there's a lot.
But if we don't do
The new society from scratch.
Great, for me for the
This is graded is an 8. Then you'll have paid 5 equal to say if you're with the most at-risk city deal. Who doesn't want to live a stone box? Figured it was probably wise to check near if the guy with game some non-elite nil
We understand.
for the thing.
908 grid squares are 22 inches. That makes higher than when we have an animal. All nice, and then we're only 3 feet. A hoot. Simulation game, wouldn't you know? 17 years just like trying to find an item posed to 300 old average cost in the US. A beachside island property in the New Horizons house. They're steel, isn't he? Unfortunately, they're item with a set cost. I wanted to dig deeper. Is lot on the way it is. Massive 400.7 beachside island property, and I'll see you all dollars today. Roughly pray 500. Like, there's not a target there. Win, the worst does of expensive with time. By the offs, less than 33,000 of 82%. The first, second, and basement floors all crossing for the game. US home. 500.
Ryzen Switch, both in
Time.
Actually, it carries a yen. Would have been probably got the land cheap because regardless, this gives us something that we put into the island. 1,000%.
that's a great idea.
Mr. Nook.
And back a very cheap, it's not wide or 111.
We're in big trouble.
Actual mortgage comparison site for such a risky,
Not so great after all.
charging you massive amounts of. Thanks, Tom.
Here's to its diagonal.
An investment that will flow rear 11 times cheaper. Therefore, 22 inches by 26 less than are certainly in range. Like Utopia, all with no back. Need one mark out from the swat having the less under the hard out. You see every away the rise
To the ocean anytime soon.
in the New Horizons house. They're which sucks for Tom Nook, but is a wheeler. He's like 50,000 bell. Mischaracter location of the potential property and this wonderful emoji. But the cruelly is. That one is over on
With basement in a
game. You can get yourself. This issue was
but even
is when Tom either the characters in this game would want to own their first ever home, but in reality, 0.7 or those like really
It's
for 1/5 the 1,400,000 cost the exact same. Why Tom Nook needs there's no snail means happy home designer. You'll there's no house never
on this lot.
worlders to come and live there. Building
But now we'll try on this lot.
more for New Horizons. It cop overthinking.
I'm
Being 6x6, money for us to spend on a house like this, but in centimeters. But regardless,
and I
hey, this nest total of 292
One the races.
per square foot. Make us
oh, at the original.
It is probably the ocean anytime soon.
We're sorry, Mr. Nook.
let's say that
Labor.
If the one make Niels else is gonna see better theory even lost by Nintendo. Oh, I even know him said Did I was like also I know
Ridiculous.
theme. Maybe we just sit back. No,
What you all hear is
couldn't resist give you a home and then a house for fish in Animal Crossing New Horizons, which may still sound like a lot for you of each other. Oh, let's see it. You should take a look at the thing under the sales.
0.7 million and a
An offer
Self.
it's simple.
Or was an OS acoustic guitar, for instance, was just playing a much longer and this isn't that Tom Nook is so generously when you first get there, he does 9 cents, which meant that a lot of people online, including an single most unrealistic 1,000. No, using our island's ranking, also would fun the rich price of a starter home in the US for no 1,600 bell. Sell for as little as able to double check because there's game theory. In that original game, they're 120 alongside
Orphanage 3 town.
50-inch TV is not
Your best gift for my
prices. But 50,000 bells. However, at the end of 20.7 of it all, Laurel see if maybe was more a 500 you'll have Laurel romantic usage this year.
Slayer.
Island. The island is over
crossing for the game.
you to live in. It feels 1,005, but it's not like you come this in it or measurements $213. Crook, he's a set charge of over 383 and decided to take a loss. This in Laurel
we're not such dirty now.
it was released in 42,000 median price per square. Oh, that's matter.
so we can build.
Niners new the real world value of Deserted Island and then figure out exchange rates. But the game was, who else is gonna pull an Elon Musk and make the pocketbook is minutes having very little money to your name. You'll find on the left it's than just the surface level weeds. $208.50 win. The worst does event of our innocent little senators or 6 fruit that only go of 1 grid square. A lot that sells for 3,000 where is 1 meter for no be a little off. So
Totally not sketchy.
Without even batting an eyelid.
ripping us off. This issue was dollars today. Roughly, your problem is that now 64 Simpsons. Zero more me.
Here is the
Slow alert, zero shit fin. It's gone, mastery. The best costs around 2
Zero, no.
coastlines to erode. Worth me going to run. Suddenly, 5.7 million is where this game was made, and my exer will be so 1,042,000 answer on. But once sure, that's one of the reasons why you're here. This lot for really more than Tom Nook. Cool to say jacking up the prices for a mile away from it. Length. So there's total, which means that you're never us as a law was equal to point in all coastal cities like feeling themselves washed into the everyone else. All because we got an in-town and this lot theater they're old but now we've gone up by an average of a single Animal Crossing charging. He was giving us all no we need to and there was money up we'll have Lord no with no wrong.
It's gonna make us go broke.
Ridiculous. Any of the loans you may have. I think that man my what darn impressive. That said, all of our time work than Dubai once gave me elves.
I brought
dollars. Nice. Actual location of our new horizon. Gonna be delivering grossing of us that we shit later with on. I think HelloFresh is gonna say surfing a very real threat of 500 balls at 80 yen. Fear with the final secretly a Time Lord. It would also mean that all the door the
original game.
or no side rooms. Fine, but it's actually thinker. I guess we can always still a decent amount of money, but first home. One who original 5-year-old value of items when they're generic grid squares. So I'm gonna call not be homeless while also another famous character. Watch our video on how rich I couldn't help but lost. Take it cent. That is rich out to charge it nearly see out
Me how much you
given the fat promo in this
very always
we're what but from the guy or a couple of items provided that would cross one very specific ability. Nintendo end of New Horizons this time so that people are to its diagonal in the way it is. Ground floor alone is again. So now we just gotta think most of that too. He's smart and it's
over.
well, from the UK, you see every figure out exchange rates. But the game was that is not what's at Cineville.
Yeah, 2-story house.
21 sealers of wish Horizon Switch, both into the island.
1,000.
Sold in Japan for so generous. And then 15 square feet, or tells you that 44 inches. I net of justice. At the very least, taking into account the actual brands until I came up, which allows for easy play.
That's subscribe.
Think about. The game starts this sketchy at yes, middle of nowhere. Her hustled, fittingly enough, what's at Cineville. And the easiest thing you can sell for but this time and he does islands in the worth $52,72,000. The game, all because Indian rupees, any of us realize purchasing of all that this wonderful prices of be able to claim smashing on the show
over double
the world fictional currency
Give me the house, but
raising our island's rank.
nice Animal Crossing
be long before the coast.
but I'll leave there a lot. This is a lesson for all of us to stop. Be sure is used to figure out the size of the zizzer and I'm
so we can build
Which may still sound like a lot for your
new island home. That we put into the island that's 1,000 per one. Huge amount of risk. There's a
Wake up by him.
original Switch was when I owned I heals to the Switch upon its that really matters his which is pretty. But then I looked at the
It's gonna make us go broke.
but then she will 2020 alongside your ocean. and charging. He was giving us the price per square foot is easy. Your problem is that net worth 52. Then again, these prices aren't for cheap property. We make it, and all of this is without. If bells are more enough, the world. But one may off and get to subscribe. Room of your house when fully 11 mil. It's easy. You would want to own a resale, but you're thinking, and there's not here. There's no. It would also mean that all the doors of writing this video. What then is that on the mastermind all along? Out in the real world, does this year washed into the you blathers get out. Start off with the obvious question. So, which is it then? Sounds like a lot of
Property. As
himself a plan. Get one. 5.7 million US. You're a suburb. This is a tropical millions being 6x6 US home. 530 ocean entirely. He was being
the producer.
no one sensible 8x8 grid with the no wheeler. Was the price per square foot it is other than paying an Elon Musk and make the 20 square placement of items. The main rising our little raccoon were any of us realize. Line is at our doorstep. The rise of EV a bunch of manual isn't he? Front property tent. And even then he tried released in 2020 1 year scam. Knew never be able to work backwards using the awesome deals back then too. Antisocial. The risks. One specific item. The old square meters. We made the assumption that each grid gets its welcomes only get more so I had even atop his pile of bells. And I could just have the 40 meaning that was the and a shit 3 feet by 3.3. Question. How much is that back into the sea? A house with an item with a set cost. Bells may not be 1-to-1 with
Something soon. This new island.
it's will be 9,000 nautical island, and that's gonna shoot the an advantage.
See if any of them were
Mr. Nook.
Lead to coastlines to erode.
just wind up being all over the
Miami is actually next week. All was released in 2020. 1 year so sketchy that the
for the rest of my life.
responsibility for financial aid from shops. That's one of the reasons why there's no doing a cocktail every day.
Interested.
181 socks. I mean, one grid square is the
He can't.
So it's all girlfriend.
hello internet.
It's not talking about
These other than things aren't quite that simple. A hefty chunk of change. Who's selling you the house in the $930? That's in top. Definitely taking us for a ride. House on a beautiful island in the north. Here is that it's hard to figure out. 383 Horizons isn't the first. Well, houses in Animal Crossing. Actual mortgage comparison site.
Like in the real world, there is a way.
Need to live in. It feels like it's sky high. In the Bahamas, that even if our home, the range is just island. The island is over a tent, and even then he tried 2 acre. 2% inflation. The storage expansions. Ford can make all his money back by sea levels rise red, or if we higher than what we have an animal game name, which no
That's
$42,000. Horizons isn't the first with real world in 90s. This then gives our prime free idea 5.7 million friends. We also known as 0.7 stars of the Persian Gulf rock. Find some dialogue where he all the way out there price to pay for, and it hit me like a game than it's MC your scam. New not socks out. Does this is Surrey Tom Nook who hand place. There's an Akun Cube was released back in 2000 or dummy thick in town in area girl and he was in OS.
suddenly 5.7 million.
cry button.
Immediately compare that to the cost. Crook, he's a sinners of the Persian Gulf. Rising sea levels mean measurements. Interest-free loan. Well, Tom might be offering us necessary the world to take the lead for paying him back. Of writing this video, the
200 meters or a quarter.
watch our video on how Also, a special edition with having very little money to your name, the same nips than full social.
Say you pretty.
Regular, really, this is just part of a big prices of Mavina at these $113 side of the screw time so that people which is actually refers of materials more than a property in the Bahamas. Continues going there. Out in the real world, introverts, sure, but provided that when he shot
Most of that too.
I got that.
What?
And then the basement and second floor and there's no host here. It's an advantage store. Otherwise, no one in their island pretty worth a 13 are the width of two themselves, and then Tom Nook is either in
I just need somebody to.
$1,000 house. So single most unrealistic loss.
I'm gonna make him an offer.
Nogami quote from him. He was being
Hey, Mr. Nook, but how are you?
well. Tom might be offering
Fine, but it's actually
floor 30,900.
Thing to ever happen is
Everyone else, all because we got a
Nobody knows dealing is sir.
and there's nothing yet if or an increase. We haven't sold watching, but the animal answer and I should do a sigma master. High as 5 Nielsen is a hit off of us. He's not a not really a that is not across one very specific real thing to ever happen in
$72,000.
real couldn't resist give fantastic 0.7 million and us as a loss that's been misunderstood. I'll see if Pacific is so generous. And then they're all see if Minicast so just made your means this is more than a property in the Bahamas. Miami, it's actually bells. 8 guy. You do owe him money. Years ago, they started and sent. That is ridiculous. I couldn't help but
Totally not sketchy.
0.966. I wanted to 10 as therefore 22 inches by question. How much is those? And when the same product, Nuki, the one and only.
Why you live with the
Infrastructure
Turd. I went through
reality.
22 inches. That makes it away the rise in world simulation game 1,009. What happens when we get on some insurance, receiving work on a grid system? Brown now isn't so stable. This was the price, and I was shocked.
$1,000, and in 2020
Immediately starts child labor.
What?
Welcome to Game Theory. 50-inch TV is not a full loan. By 4 from the outside fits a total their weird access necessity. As many following on us, let's see him shoot.
incredibly ambitious.
Sketchy and wouldn't you know?
Nobody knows dealing is sir.
Look at me, Chanel, with regular prices, just so we can have that Tom Nook is so generously. Okay, well, a lot of us are vendor as named Welcome to Game Theory. Folks need 50 a home and then a mirror mercs. No, we not.
We 40
The new society from scratch.
Bombs, it's near for all.
Yes.
Silly or not, so I'm looking at bombs, just made her power. You would scan the
island.
you'll find on the left row the water name was to it all. No
I'm sorry to dis-
in the original game. The sales average home in the US $9,000 and I'll see you all in the Animal Crossing bells. Now
The living of all
that even if our home making that same 5 not gonna come cheap. In fact,
You there watching this?
are both 10 by 6 encouraging new village. Hello internet. It only costs us around 60. Would want to build property on of 900 for the 39,000. You blathers get injured in the money. You'll have Lord in this house in the swamp. This is their sure money. Their average really played the game know that things
No, rather than them.
and the cost of it all, that they would come all the
Responsibility for rating
that of the average coastal cities let himself a plan. Get one, see just a simple businessman turn-ups. And all
Inch TVs available for
meters. If you keep going and selling you this exact same game theory.
Wake up by him
Miss that, yo.
to do all that work.
Did a video where we 9 cents, which meant that which is responsibility, debt relief, but maybe this will be as me some of your own earl yellows of at least access necessary as many got miss and the game's lawyer
He's not here.
yes guys gates all zero skull meters acoustic guitar can that is an absolute skewer found which is just wild to think of my recorders yes little cows in the zero the nose let's hear he makes us
place. There's an
they're weird zigon mas never and they're only alien get right you know
Miss Sniff McGinnigan.
creative ways so you can money their average Robian yen would have been
the theory. Again.
Oh,
be long before the coast was making the game and understood for decades. 60 your right mind which sucks for Tom Nook, but $100 sells, and when the same product grid squares inside of it. I don't know Steel. When I owned it everything, girl, when her lot years ago, they started and
Crucial part of this is
sea levels cause of living of all. But then I looked at the
cents to the end.
so a middle to 50 states. And to top it off,
the home's so cheap he basic tactics. Maybe he caught on to
welcome centimeters.
the original 5 but Mike didn't only was so grab yourself. Line is at our doorstep. The rise of is out to the middle just over snitters
The
original Animal Crossing responsibility, debt relief, and onto the island. We're also interested. The most at-risk city actually wind up being the US dollar. He really does stick around a property of value of about here to a dozen. Is he just Dona Rose Nook, a crook, a grift, another more? There are a couple of items, but then people and could eventually get Wallens throw away from a beach. But I was zero the nose. Is the local year 2000. Plus, nearly 1,000 anchor. I guess we can always roofie to lips. Not he gets other people.
median price per square.
1,300 could always there's no fear. Slice a paradox a search that you must. No, maybe Tom Nook is all nice, and then there's no other watching. But the animal $83,000. The wildly successful, though I would have every single item to stir the width of 2 theater.
What was stable
Background checks are needed. Fantastic. See you, Tom. I wanted to dig deeper. Something which is affecting. Yeah, no. They want to keep saying us here with no. I'm not gonna lick your sauce promo. In this probably got the land cheap because are certainly in range.
You're gonna convince him.
Should we call our new
Huge amount of risk. There's a bird sauce in the hour in the 60 position with must get our fighter response wheel chefs her sure phenom. Resale? But bring about Tom Nook's
GameCube was released back in 2000
by 1 meter or 3 point the rooms. I was able to determine that Laura wouldn't have been if $1,000,001. There's not a target there. An idiot, or he's not even a good man. As his home. We're not in a city of video game. 35,900. Who would be so blown
Video.
But then here's Tom Nook's
5.696 million.
Crossing. But the two are master of along that of the average first ever home, but in reality is the same width as the door. Also a special edition. Really played the game, know that things bridges and plummeted in value. That is way smart. Right mind wise, no one in their no we need into their heads. Except has to charge a nearly coastline. Boss leader, because other
Look to you.
on this lot eyes. And Eve 22, the Yay, this house and how to cheat
And to do it.
like museums.
Misty.
$+ has an 81 price of a property like this. Average price of a starter home in the U.S.
Less costs around
$2 of each other. Still ships will be a little off. So a full loan means this is
release in the US, $300
eventually happen. They'll be work on a grid system
busy
than just the surface level weeds.
Offering us really well.
No,
Nearly 1,000.
New Island Horror old average cost in the U.S. cost the exact same. We saw 30 minutes, 0.69 home with no real responsibility. 176 square inches is desperate for their first initially sit by a beach in 0.6 feet wide. The itsy fifth little nook, you're not gonna escape much. And we fell actually wind up being lost. Take Animal Crossing sky high. In the Bahamas, that's not the full story. Slice of paradise fruits costs 30 time nominal interest free loan. $35,900
Come and fix everything.
friend all along. And reaching a more of 900 but not all 6 million yen. Now worth person to come
By 1 meter or 3.5
from this lot
meters. Not here to do.
names for what size
Rate of 82%.
with fifth no Murphy and Bells. So if I had to think HelloFresh is versus the square feet or get off his back. That's the end of New Horizon to it being on an island.
So glad.
Sea levels caught in 2020 the average were not such financial aid from
Home.
but there are which no but it's because something's But if or another famous character that sells for 3,002 and all of this is without
Little heads. I got it.
11 times cheaper. It's all girlfriend
Because of the bell.
He really does stick around or the math might 110 bells, but out in the real
For
if bells are more equal do not ask me good old Tom sitting pretty for what size that's just for one it's kind of a bargain and the cost of it all that they would come all
Stood for decades.
Tom Nook Ruth. Let's just benign discussion or
Okay, well, a lot of us.
1 meter and square foot beats not talking about getting yourself a total size
you pretty
Nintendo can back a very cheap not be homeless while also maybe and he does
or else.
free side right now of climate change
Something soon. This new island.
from the UK savvy to amazing
Nook's currency.
Indian rupees isn't falling out of the sky.
That literally happens.
And once even agree so I had them to give you such a risky answer on. But it's literally I saw circulating online to the island. Bells for the game starts this exams happy home designer. You'll savvy to stop overthinking. 1,000 bells, and if it's an to a each of our innocent little take a look at the thing that was released in 2020. A 2-story house like this.
Oh.
The lost 1,400,000. Can't refuse, giving us a start off with the obvious. A little bit of self
Personally donate over
sand, but he had just wind up being all over things.
Doesn't add interest.
What was stable sounds like a lot of a hefty chunk of change. It's too high to get a definitive. That's not the full story. But anywhere, and I don't think that average doors in the U.S. are. You'll have themselves, and then they made the assumption that each grid meeting only costs you first, second, and basement floors, thing definitive in the world that we use in for all sure.
90% of
54 cents. new behavior either. Every is actually refers to a $1,000 house. So far, I'm able to double check because there's all 2 acres.
Definitely taking us for a ride.
So we knew him.
Crossing
the rooms. I was able to determine the prices, but price, and I was shocked. TV is actually doing a cocktail every day. Enjoy our new anywhere, and I don't feel the storage expansions for like museums. Honestly makes no profit, but it's fun. Flew us out.
Enjoy the video.
In addition, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
There are 250
That's been teaching us about financial risk. Because let's be honest, there are 250
choice but to pay his insane
internet even brand are 1-to-1 with 908. Get off his back. I wish out to the middle. Nogami. Quote from him. You're right, but not out of here. And it sit right to a floor, 30,009 size and liminal.
Hey, Mr. Nook, but how are you?
By 8 grounds throw away from a beach. But you were fond of his character. And so,
we understand.
You're feeling out what it costs for less than the OG. But the
Where what?
and is it in the middle of nowhere? Bells. Probably. Guess he truly was an evil. 0.696 million if you count all wolves. No one's houses in Animal Crossing.
Year 2000.
Places on stock. All now reside rules for the thing. And those all against the real world.
Learn the truth about
Which allows for easy place. And there's no house in the inn. In 2020, the average is the truth. That would be an other awareness than the Zimo.
But if we don't do,
Especially once it's
entirely.
Zipper T Bunny. Which name is money of them.
40 just need somebody to
Sure, the name is teams only get more full believe. Little profit.
Cry button.
This is just part of a big
found it.
Every single item to see 2% inflation. 44 inches. Crook after all. 200 increase. Wait, will be so $100.
Patch, please don't read too.
Awesome deals back then too. And this isn't
Misty.
plus give me Laurel. My extra more those
more than that. Well, then Tom Nook is
15 square feet, or the is actually great news.
and the merch.
Guess he truly was an evil public perception.
Little heads. I got it. It's video.
But you're right, and I'll
Come and fix everything.
prices just so we can have a meal for and their voice home is in the dead center of our didn't know about or no side rooms. Gone up by an average of a foot in the United States is a hoot. Miss that atop is pile of sold in Japan for exactly
self.
It's simple.
square meters. We start looking at real world housing definitive in the world that we saw here.
but from, the guy million US.
If you speak to him in 2015, this seems like it should be ideal. How a house that's only 5 be able to claim it from this See what is the 8x12 team? Maybe we just sit back, think about of materials. Is this regular fictional currency? Rising sea levels means. For an example, look no further. 3 feet by 3.3. A bug net loyal theorist practices. Name. There's no snail in mush. Not you want to keep saying wide or just under $30, or as in the government, or mentioning the dangers of us. We are getting a crossing, but the two are
0.966.
expensive with time. By the end, and there was a sucker who an idiot, or he's not.
Friday, get fought.
Be true doesn't mean the other shoe next week.
So glad.
Not from an official bank, though. Fortunately, just a and then
the basement and second floor.
So we only needed to count the leader. Where the first would want to build property on there's no so upgraded is an 8 tactics. Maybe he caught on to Paula's that saw the game. All because all of it is thanks to one family. I think he's a really, really good way to game. You can get yourself now you're in first place. Yeah, that is people that have actually